Hello and welcome to the David Kurten Show here on today's News Talk TNT. It is lunchtime in the UK. It's late in the evening in Australia if you're joining me from there. And if you're in the United States, where it's been a big election day yesterday, I think it's very early in the morning. So thank you for joining me so early on my show. Now, yesterday in the United States, of course, was Super Tuesday. We spoke about it on the show yesterday, and the results came in through Tuesday evening and into Wednesday morning. So now we have all the results and they are pretty conclusive. Now, with the Democrat primaries, there's no question Joe Biden has won that and he was expected to win that. He's been winning all the way through. But the Republican primaries, of course, there is more attention on that because there was still a contest going on really between President Trump and Nikki Haley, but it was a very one-sided contest. And President Trump won 14 out of 15 states in yesterday's primaries on Super Tuesday, to add to the 8 out of 8 states he won in primaries that happened before Super Tuesday. So that means he's won 22 out of 23 primaries. And now I hear the latest is that Nikki Haley is going to make an official announcement very, very shortly that she is going to stand down from the race. I understand she hasn't made that yet, but people who know her and the press has been briefed that she is going to do that. So that leaves President Trump on course to gain the Republican presidential nomination unopposed. And he can then focus on his campaign 100% between now and the elections on November the 5th. This, of course, is very important for the United States, and it's important for the whole world as well, because whoever is commander-in-chief and president of the United States affects what happens in the world. It affects the international policy that goes on, and of course, other NATO countries, other countries in the collective West are in many ways beholden to what happens in the United States. Now, I don't agree with every single thing that President Trump has done. It's almost impossible to agree with 100% of what someone does 100% of the time. But in general, his policies are very good, and they will get America back on track after 4 years of disaster, which is what we really have seen at the moment. He is going to control the border by completing the border fence, which Biden has not done. In fact, he's facilitated mass rapid immigration, probably in order to try to swing the ballot come November. President Trump also is known for, in his 4-year period, for creating jobs for ordinary American people. And the main reason, the main way and method he's done that is one very, very simple thing. He abandoned the insanity of climate alarmism and net zero and said, we're not going to have any caps or restrictions on carbon-based fuels, which have been the energy of the American economy for all of living memory and decades into the past. If only we had parties in the UK and other places around the world that had that common sense in order to build your economy and create jobs for ordinary working people, rather than to be beholden to this insane policy of net zero, where you destroy your energy infrastructure and then try to rely on unreliable, discontinuous sources of energy which don't provide much energy at all. So that was a very, very good thing. And the other great thing about President Trump is for 4 years, there was no war. America was not at war and was not bombing anyone. Obama came to power in 2008, of course, and he was immediately awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. I think that even happened before he was even sworn in as president, simply because he had some melanin in his skin. That's not a very good reason to give someone a Nobel Peace Prize. And he subsequently went on to drop 26,000 bombs on Syria Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, and many other places. But the Nobel Peace Prize Commission didn't revisit the award and let him keep it. President Trump was probably more deserving of that award because in his tenure, he's the only president in living memory, as far as I know, that hasn't taken the United States into a new war. And he's promising when he comes in again in November that he will end the horrible, terrible conflict in Ukraine immediately within 24 hours. I assume by getting the parties around the table, negotiating a peace, and stopping the horrible slaughter that we've seen over the last 2 years, since the beginning of the special military operation, but also for the last 10 years, since the coup of 2014. Interestingly, also yesterday, the orchestrator of the Maidan coup in Ukraine that put in a CIA puppet president, Victoria Nuland, stood down from her position as Undersecretary of State of the United States. This is a sign that people inside the government realize that this awful pursuit of escalation of war in Ukraine isn't going to go anywhere. It's killed hundreds of thousands of people already, and it needs to stop. Let's hope that's the case, and let's hope that peacemakers come into the government, and I would include in that President Trump.